Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Or maybe I should say it in the right way. Good morning, handsome men. Good morning, beautiful ladies. Awesome. So I will just need your attention for the next 2 hours, and I would like to officially, obviously I'm not by myself, on behalf of the UJ Community Engagement Unit, we officially welcome you to the 2023 Service Excellence Awards. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? And for those that are joining us for the first time this year for this annual event, our theme for this year is Universities as Agents for Social Transformation and Advancement for Sustainable Communities. So that is the purpose of why we're here today, to celebrate, to engage, and to also network, and to obviously exchange knowledge and information about this beautiful space, this safe space of community engagement.
Not so long ago, we were in this venue, and that was for the Imbizo Awards. And that is where we were awarding our students who have dedicated and sacrificed most of their time, even under pressure from their academic work. They still dedicate their time to do community work, to partake in those projects. Of course, that they will not be able to do that without the assistance and the help of the academics who are instrumental in the transfer of knowledge and skills. And that is why our student volunteer champions are able to do those work. But today is about the academics. It's about the intelligentsia, the think tanks. We know that the work that they do, and that's why we are here, the work that our academics do does not translate into academic capitalism, where knowledge becomes transactional, because they share the knowledge out of free will without expecting anything in return. It's a special day for our academics to recognize them for the wonderful work that they've done throughout the year.
I think you've just reminded us of a saying that there is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. And University of Johannesburg is a true reflection of that. With all this knowledge that we have, and we are going to different communities implementing sustainable projects. Our first speaker for today, without wasting any time, let me just share with you his profile. Such a humble, amazing, everyday leader. A believer in mutually beneficial partnerships, he has worked in both the media and financial services sector. Mr. Thabiso has worked with the media houses such as SABC, Arena Holdings, Kagiso Media, and community-based media entities. In financial services, he worked with institutions such as the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, FSCA, FNB, Nedbank, and others. In conclusion, financial education and commercial opportunities are not mutually exclusive. Correctly executed, financial education leads to increased financial opportunities. Importantly, these financial opportunities are beneficial to all stakeholders. Those are the words of Mr. Thabiso Masudubele, who's our first guest speaker, and I don't want to spoil the moment, but all I can tell you is that he's a change maker.
I think we were invited because I'd like to believe we're a case study with what UJ Community Engagement is doing. So just a little bit about what we're doing. As Lebogang has said, we merge media and financial literacy. I think our whole premise is the idea that access to information should allow people to use that information towards informed decision making, such that people are able to do more with the little that they have. And information shouldn't be something that's only reserved for well-heeled people. Information should actually get to people who need it more than the well-heeled people. And access to information has become something that's a bit of a challenge. You hear people talking about there being access to websites and finding out all this information. But unfortunately, for the majority of South Africans, access to data is an issue. And because we're living in trying times, it's not as if data is free. We've got telecommunications companies. I hope no one here is from a telco, which are still charging, amounts that are relatively speaking much higher than in other countries. So access to information, I think, is where the intersection between ourselves and UJ community engagement came from. So we've created platforms for members of stokvels and burial societies and general community where people can go to these platforms, and these platforms act as a suppository of information. So these platforms move from television, radio, as well as outreach program. So are people being given information about access to financial instruments that they can use? And our belief is that not enough is done to make people aware of the different instruments that exist. Now, the challenge that we had is that you'll engage with commercial banks. It's all well and good, Commercial banks, it makes commercial sense. So Thabiso as a businessman, yes, I want to. But with this particular project that we do, it was difficult in the sense that with commercial entities, they don't do it for free. And understandably so, nothing wrong with that. But then that has an impact on the type of editorial content that you have. So they'll say, we must do this thing, but don't forget that, must say they must buy our product. After we've told them the nice things, but they must buy it. And so that sort of dilutes what you're trying to do. So for us, the start of and this is the link to community, UJ community engagement. It took one call. We called Ostilling, and we said, hey man, Ostilling, one of our research guys told us you guys are actually going into communities, and we thought, man, this can't be true. Universities, when we were in varsity, your life revolves around campus, from resi, dining hall, lecture hall, ditate. I'm gonna expose my age. I wonder if these things are still here. Yeah, you didn't get your DP. Are these things still there? The DP, okay. So just checking. And then obviously there are those nice stores which are just off campus, where you buy nice little bottles as you're growing up and back to rest, those sorts of things. So our idea of university was that a university is contained, campus. And so our engagement with UJ community was very refreshing in that now we were introduced to a unit within the University of Johannesburg which says that universities are no longer about academic theory, but it's about, as Seale was saying, you've got a group of people with all this information and all this knowledge who are willing to give it and to share it for free. And this for us was a huge plus, because what it meant was, for the first time, we didn't need to engage with someone who would be selling a product at the end of their speech, but we were engaging with professionals who have the know-how but are giving it voluntarily, and it's credible because it comes from an academic institution. So we'd like to, having said that, is to say, universities, in particular UJ community engagement, is to say it should continue in this vein. And for us, things are continually changing. You no longer have universities as these nodes that are closed and that focus on theory and this is what you do, but it's also about real life. And it also talks to the fact that in as much as people don't have access to data and information, people also don't have access to tertiary institutions. And that's a huge thing, and so does it mean that because people are less privileged and less advantaged, should they then remain in the dogs of poverty because they don't have access to information? And the answer is no. And so what initiatives can we introduce to make sure that over and above, the need for the university to still generate revenue from tuition fees, but how does the university go into communities to make sure that they help those communities for people who can't access those communities?
And I think, Mr. Thabiso, we're committing to a knowledge cafe. I already see some of our students probably having a TV show through you where they can actually share this information with their peers. What I love about your speech is that you've also reminded us that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest, especially to us, the young generation. You know, Mr. Thabiso reminds us that youth, the fourth industrial revolution, to actually self-develop yourself. And to the older generation, share that culture of saving that you have retained over the years so that we can have a prosperous South Africa. We cannot always have a country report that says that we are the most unequal country in the world, when we can actually change the status quo. Amandla. I'm really excited about our second speaker. So her name is Miss Mary Izobo. Okay, I will just say to you, Bawani. She's an international human rights lawyer, advocacy program manager for the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation.
So I'm going to speak on the theme, universities can serve as powerful agents for social transformation and the advancement of sustainable communities. We're all here today because of the University of Johannesburg. But before I delve into the topic, I would like to say a story. There was a young girl who got into university at the age of 15 years after finishing high school at the age of 14. She was the youngest in her class, the oldest being 23 at the time. And being in the university transformed her and turned out to be a two-time bachelor degree holder, a two-time master's degree holder, as well as studying for her PhD. The university, in collaboration with the government at that time, sent her to a rural area. I mean, rural. Think about a place where you still use the pit toilet and had to live in a mud house, right? So she's able to do a one-year youth service. It's more like giving back to the community, right? This young woman went on to become an international human rights lawyer, having worked for the African Union, the Pan-African Parliament, and currently the Advocacy Program Manager of the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation. And that young woman was me. I am a product of several universities that I have attended across several continents, from South America to Europe to Africa. And I say that all of these universities have made me the woman that I am today, an agent of transformation and social change. And so with universities, I was able to cater to needs of people. And it's also shaped my values, my knowledge, and above all, my skills. And so by design, higher learning institutions are well positioned to play an important role in communities, as well as create social change by creating prosperity through research, development, internship, job shadowing, and what have you. And so I will use the University of Johannesburg Community Engagement Unit as an example. And what I realized is that the work and the impact that the unit does in ensuring that it's able to engage at the community level. But most importantly is that it's also provided that opportunity to engage with non-traditional partners like the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation, where I currently work, and open even the eyes of the students into a broader horizon, into getting people like the previous speaker who spoke, who's into financial literacy, and also a person like myself who's into community development and community engagement. But now the question is this: what more can universities do to ensure that, even not as universities, but even as students in the university, to ensure that we're able to advance social change, we're able to work on transformation, and above all, sustainable development? Let me start by asking, who amongst you here knows the African Union Agenda 2063, all of the aspirations? Not so many. What about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030? Okay, almost everyone. And now that is unfair, and I'll say why. The UN SDGs was born out of the African Union Agenda 2063, just in case you do not know. Why the Agenda 2063 was made in 2013, it was a 50-year plan by Dlamini Zuma. She actually dreamt about it, wrote a letter at that time to the AU chairperson, thinking about a road network, thinking about an Africa, and that's why people say from Cape Town to Cairo. Yeah. She dreamt about a railway station where you're in Egypt, you wake up in the morning, you get on a train, and maybe after 2-3 days, maybe one day, I don't know how long, you are in Cape Town. And so in 2015, 2 years after the United Nations came up with the SDGs, following the Millennium Development Goals that had ended as of 2015. And so I would say, as Africans, it's important. Yes, we are global agents for change, but most importantly, we're agents for change for Africa. Because before anything else, we are first Africans. And so I'm also looking forward to engage and to partner as the program advocacy manager for CSVR to see the work that, because we do a lot of work at the community level, to see how can we engage with the students, where we get to go to different communities, where we advocate. For example, we work on issues around peace building initiatives. We work around early warning, conflict prevention. We work around violence prevention, gender-based violence issues, and even conflict-related sexual violence. I think it would be nice to have a lot of men in the room speak about these issues at different community levels, because we do work in 8 provinces across 40 communities. It would be nice to have, a lot of you join us in the march, join us in the conversations around the different areas that we do work in as an organization.
I think you are also indirectly saying to the young ones, when you want to be knowledgeable, check your continent. There is a buzz. Well, I'm not going to say a buzz. There's great implementation work done on the African Continental Free Trade Area. And that is a free trade area encompassing most of Africa. And this is something that as a student you can try to see how you can be an advocate, how you can participate and make this Africa that we want. We have our last speaker before we come to the awards. And I'm going to call my colleague, Mr. Tsepo Malele, who's our CE specialist from Soweto campus, to actually come up here and introduce our guest speaker.
The next speaker, she's a senior lecturer in the Education, Leadership and Management Department at the University of Johannesburg, and more trained in critical management, critical leadership, and anti-colonial and post-colonialism. She works as a facilitator for organizational behavior at an honors and master's level through this lens. So she aims to shift students towards the colonial conceptions of various aspects of organizational behavior. She has worked as a lecturer for 20 years in the somatology department, heading the department for 7 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I would like you to just give a round of applause for Dr. Sadi, Seyama, assistant, and come to the front.
This is a significant year for me because I have been at UJ for half of my life, good people. For half of my life. UJ has been a home for me. Sometimes I'm scared to tell people because I think they're going to be jealous and start to sabotage me. The UJ, for me, I arrived as a student, and I spent the best years at UJ as an employee of UJ. And it is the best place to work for. I got to know who I am. I got to understand my life purpose because of UJ. UJ as an organization, its paradigm of leadership, it created the conditions for me to flourish. I grew up at UJ, understanding what it means for a black person to be valued and to be celebrated as you are and given the space to be who you really are. I know my Sangiazazi. I know myself because of the space, the conditions that UJ created. And because of that, I am able to flourish in my uniqueness. UJ says we are diverse, but diversity is not division, but diversity is our individual power. As we pull it together, we build something that is awesome. UJ is an awesome place. And I want to first say, I appreciate the Community Engagement Office because it was initiated and it continues to move in that strong, authentic foundation of full humanity for all. Ms. Ernestine is not here, but she started that and she created an awesome space for us, a space of peace, a space of harmony, a space of affirmation. And to the students, I hope one day you will be running, all different types of collaborative projects, either within UJ, outside of UJ, but you will be the real social entrepreneurs, and not just to make money, no, but really social entrepreneurs, and still pushing in that dream of being, social agents of change, and authentically transforming our societies and advancing sustainability of our communities. And when I talk about sustainability of communities, for today, I'd like us to rethink about humanity, rethink about sustainable humanity. There's a lot of talk about sustainable environment, but what for? Why? If it's not for human sustainability. I believe we have not unpacked that, and we need to unpack that so that then becomes the foundation from which we think, we create, we innovate sustainable projects, sustainable communities. I problematize the hierarchies of humanity that we see, where we end up giving these different types of services because people are recognized within different levels of hierarchy. Siafana sonke, we are all the same, we are all equal. So the service, the excellent service that we pursue at UJ should be applied equally to all, irrespective of your race, your color, your creed, your class, gender, etc. So for me is to saying, let us remind ourselves of that. As we become agents of social transformation, we should not lose sight that we are all fully human, that we do not have to have certain conditions for us to feel like we are more human, that we, as university people, we end up having these different levels of providing service. When I greet Lebo, I must greet Lebo with the same respect, regard, and compassion the way that I will greet her manager. Must be the same. How about us as agents of transformation be about people flourishing, creating those conditions for people to flourish, and in its inclusivity, not in one aspect.
I could only think of one word, which is dignity and purpose. Live a life of a purpose and do the right thing even when no one is watching. I think that's what you were trying to tell us, and it is our opportunity or our responsibility afterwards to just go home and introspect and check in. How are you going to enter December in 2024 with all the knowledge that you have learned today? I'm going to call Ms. Zeleng Mojaji. She is going to now announce the faculty divisions for community engagement flagship projects, and she's going to announce the winners.
By nature, university business is teaching and learning. But today, we are saying universities, as agents for social transformation and advancement of sustainable communities. And this leads to my opening statement that the progressive transformation of universities in confronting societal challenges transcends their conventional academic role, delving deeper into realms of community involvement and broader social influence. And this phenomenon really resides in our UJ strategic framework, which is global excellence and stature, the fourth industrial revolution, and the social impact aspect of things. So, with that, I would like to honor colleagues that do this every day, that go out there and impact on community lives and their societal needs and try to bring about solutions. So with that, I would like to call our third winner. This will go in this order. The colleagues, I don't know how many will be joining me, but I will call colleagues onto the stage. So this project is whereby the UJ's Process Energy and Environmental Technology Station with Source Global collaborated to empower families in the Eastern Cape in the OR Tambo district to harvest clean drinking water from atmospheric vapor. As such, 400 hydro panels were installed across 5 villages. This project harnesses technological innovation to enable social impact, aimed at empowering communities through these provisions. Thank you very, very much. That is the project, the Eastern Cape Water Provision. On second place, we have a project, the Gwakwani Smart Village. This project started in 2013, where the electrical and electronic engineering science students led by Prof. Johan Meyer, the Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment, industry partners began the UJ Gwakwani Village project with the aim to develop local solutions for local problems with life-altering problems and brought about solutions to ease and improve the lives of 35 households. Ms. Precious. The project in first position has made quite a zigzag. We've got more than 250 university students participating in it. We've got 100 children in the Zandspreads participating and being, beneficiaries. More than 300 school learners. In the Eastern Cape, we had 4 engagements and more than 120 villages, more than 180 school learners from 2 different schools benefited from this project. This project encapsulates hand washing and hygiene training at schools, community centers, gatherings, university events, expos. They've got their own, they bring some of their own mobile lab, We take them everywhere, or they are everywhere. And so with this lab is that they are able to do sampling and water analysis.
I'm going to call Pastor Andy Balaram to announce the CE Imbizo Awards winners. And as Ms. Mojaji indicated, our students are the ones that had their first celebration. And these are students from different campuses that actually were acknowledged in a similar setup. But I'm going to call Mr. Andy to tell us who are the overall winners from all campuses.
UJ is the leading university when it comes to community engagement. We have 22,000 students across 4 campuses doing volunteerism, and I think it's one of the leading universities when it comes to volunteerism in all 26 universities. I am tasked here to announce the top 8 volunteers across the 4 campuses. So in first position, we have Malatsi Brighton, who is from the Doornfontein office. And this boy has gained 690 hours in volunteerism alone. So let's give him a round of applause. And in second position, from Doornfontein campus as well, 557 hours go to Komoloko Tau. Let's give him a round of applause. And in the third place, we have Bernard Hadley Ken. He is from AP Care with 415 hours. And in fourth place, we have Temoso Excellent Mokana with 400 hours from Soweto campus. Sabelo Intakana, 375 hours, Soweto campus. And in the sixth position, we have Adiswa Soyerki from APB with 355 hours. 7th position, Hulani Valencia Masiva, 250 hours APB. And then we have Brian Sokela, 225 hours from Auckland Park campus. Thank you so much to all the volunteers. Remember, without you, CE is nothing. You are our pillars of strength. You are the person that goes out as ambassadors of UJCE and you make it happen in communities. For that, I want to say thank you so much.
Sabona! Are you all still good? I think you should be excited. We had winners here today. We had the best people in this room today. But let me greet you all by saying it is indeed an honor for me to do the vote of thanks. And when I walked into the room today, somebody asked me, "Are you doing the famous vote of thanks?" And I said yes. So it made me to think again. Yes, I think it's really an honor to thank people for what they are doing. It is indeed a great honor for me to stand here, and I've just roughly counted the hours of service for the awards that were given to our students. And it's something like 3,257 hours that they have done. But collectively, we could have gained in the community more than 20,000 hours, because it is a lot of students and their hours have not been calculated. So I'd like to say to them, thank you and well done. You have raised the bar, and I hope you will encourage other students to continue with this sort of impact in the community. I think you can give yourselves a round of applause. Now let me come to our program director, Lebu. I'd like to say to you, thank you for executing your task so well and so good that you ensure that the program runs very smoothly. Thank you very, very much. But let me also thank the rest of your team from all the campuses, Tsepo, Tsaleng, Andy, Deirdre, and the rest of your team. Let me thank you for being the continued engine to ensure that community engagement is a reality. It is not a word, it is not a thesis written in a book. It is something that happens. It's got that actual feelings. So yes, let me thank you. And you see, I'm not doing the followers and the leadership, I'm turning it around, so yes. But thank you very much, and I think one needs to appreciate what you people are doing. Pastor Andy is always talking of Mother Teresa, and yes, you are special, all of you. So let me thank our first speaker. No, before I forgot somebody very important here. Mr. Lebogang Seale, who's always willing to take up where is needed and to do a perfect job. I need to thank you individually in that team. Thank you, and we appreciate what you are doing. And also for always welcoming people. You know, when you do that, we get that very warm feeling why we are here today. So thank you very much for that. Let me thank Mr. Thabiso Masudubele, in his absence, for really taking us through the financial ability. We believe we must go to the bank and just put it there. But this is a type of confidence that we need to inculcate in many of our communities. So thank you very much. Can I also thank Mrs. Mary Izobo from the International Human Rights Lawyer Thank you very much. Number one, we applaud you for your achievements from your very young age as to where you are. You can still grow more. There's room. Continue. But thank you very much for reminding us and telling us the value of what it is to prosper, for telling us what we need to do to ensure that we do not leave anybody behind. Thank you very, very much. Then I would like to thank our Tsepo for introducing our special guest. Thank you, Tsepo. They said a year ago you're the new kid on the block, but you almost sounds like the new kid on the block. You're now prospering, so thank you very much. Let me then thank Dr. Sadi, Seyama. I enjoyed every minute of your speech. It was really wonderful. But I think what is important, you reminded us about leadership and followers. You reminded us that the humanity is the thing to prevail in all circumstances, be it in social, be it in political, be it in religion. It is the humanity. And I think the way you brought it out, I think made everybody feel and think, how best can we perform humanity with our fellow people. So thank you very much. That has been really great. And I'm sure we will all go out and make sure that we do not say we are the leaders, but that we are the humanity, that we are the human people trying to make sure everybody goes together, everybody grows up together, everybody reaches the ceiling together. So thank you very much. Then allow me to thank the flagship programs. And I think Mr. Seale and Lebo and Seale alluded to the fact that it was not an easy decision. It was indeed very well through thought. So let me start by saying to the Eastern Cape Harvest Clean Drinking Water, thank you very much for your project, for the impact you are doing, for what you are doing in a community. It has been greatly appreciated, Prof. Bernard and your team, for third place. And for second place, the Bokwani Solutions, Village Solutions, thank you very much. Once again, you were reaching out to change the lives of people in a village. Trying to make a difference, and it is greatly appreciated. And then again, Prof. Bernard, for your team, getting the first place. And when you sit and listen to these, and when you read the reports, the impact that you are doing is not just around the university, it is spread. It is a project, in fact, both of them, that is changing lives tremendously. Because if you think of the water shortages and how people sometimes waste water, not because they want to waste it, but because they do not know how to use water. So your project is teaching them that how to use water, and also the fact that getting them to understand that the clean water is the one for your body to use inside, and which water to use outside. So thank you very much. We greatly applaud all of you three winners. It has been very difficult, and we can all give them again another round of applause. But for those who did not make it to the top three, what you are doing is still making an impact. So continue, do not stop. Do not think I didn't win, because I don't think we do things to win. We do things to change the lives of people. Like Mahatma Gandhi said, if I can change the life of one person, then my living would not be in vain. So your living, all of you, is not in vain. You are changing people's lives. So thank you very, very much for that. May I also thank all the communities, and they may not be here present, that is facilitating you, that is accepting you in their communities, and that is working with you. Because you cannot achieve what you are achieving if you do not have the field to play on. So thank you to those communities as well. The winners of the Imbizo Awards, we have thanked them, and once again, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank, we had them here and they were here before, so they did get their true sense of feeling of being winners. So thank you very much to them. And also then, like I said, I started by thanking the students for their hours. May I thank, in her absence, Dr. Fukuza, who is the driver of community engagement, who has been a very strong pillar for this unit. And I think you took us very back to the beginning when Ernestine was here. And I saw how the team has blossomed. Deirdre, Lebu, how you have blossomed in this department. So once again, to all of you, thank you. The camera people, the media, thank you very much. We never thank you, but I think you people are doing a stunning job. When you go on the website, you really see what is happening. So thank you very much. If I have, thank you for the Miss UJ that's here. She's always blessing the events. May I then, if I've omitted anybody, you are thanked. May I then say to all of you, I hope you have a wonderful festive season. I hope you take care. You come back re-energized, renewed, and ready to continue the work. Thank you.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.